Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome to 2026. I would say Happy New Year, but actually, it's not even the new year because according to the natural cycles and seasons of the earth, the new year actually begins in the springtime, which is funny. It actually makes so much sense because in the northeastern hemisphere, we are in the depths of winter. Whereas when spring comes, it's like everything comes back to life. Flowers start sprouting, seeds start opening, letting out flowers. You start to feel this crisp, fresh air. You start to see the snow melt and the grass start coming up. Birds start to sing. It's like the world is coming back to life. So, springtime is actually the new year. And based on this calendar, I'm not sure who created it, to be honest. I think it's called the Gregorian calendar. It was apparently made. You can do your own research into this as well, but it was apparently made to disconnect us from the natural cycles, which I heard wind of. It might be fully true, and it also might not. But either way, welcome to 2026. Happy New Year, as people say. And I'm really excited to tune back in with you guys. I also do want to say I've been dealing with a little bit of guilt because I've been in such a good flow of showing up on the mic and just tuning in every single week with this podcast and just sharing what's on my heart. And it's been beautiful. And going into this new year of 2026, I was feeling really inspired to do the same. But when Christmas came around, there was a lot of traveling, a lot of family time, a lot of, I would say, deep things that were moved through emotionally. So I intentionally took a break from the podcast, which is such a beautiful thing. And I think rest deserves to be celebrated. Like anything that you do in life, you need to take a break from at some point and you need to rest. And that should be as celebrated as any productivity, as any progress is celebrated. But the reason I was feeling guilty is because I had this idea of wanting to show up every single week, starting in 2026, going all the way to the end. But like I said, I've been traveling. I'm going to a yoga teacher training literally this Friday, which this episode is going to be released on Friday. And I'll pretty much be offline or away from my home base for 3 weeks attending this yoga teacher training, which I'm so freaking excited for, like so excited, and also a little bit sad and guilty that I'm not going to be able to show up to the mic and just continue the momentum and the routine of showing up to the mic because I do love it. But when I step away from it for a while, I do have a little bit of resistance coming back. So something that I am letting go of is the need to show up in perfectionist mode or in this idea of what I think I have to do. And instead just looking at life, what is happening, what is coming up, and just allowing myself to be present with what is, and knowing that when that is over and when I'm complete with this training, that I will be able to show back up here exactly as I want. So that is a little bit of the medicine that I'm actively working through as I'm recording this podcast right now. But wow, this episode is about the 25 lessons I learned in 2025. I'm so excited to share this with you today because 25 was probably one of the most challenging and muddy and crunchy years of my life where I don't think I've ever dealt with so much self-doubt and uncertainty and questioning what my worth is in this world. And it was a really difficult process. I also think that, as you're in your early to mid 20s, it's such a normal thing to experience where you're still finding yourself. Your brain isn't even fully developed yet until you're 25, 26. So how can you be putting so much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out when you are not fully developed yet, when you still have so much to learn, to experience, to discover, to actually feel like you're solidified in something? And if you've already found your dharma, if you're already committed to your thing at an early age, that is beautiful. And also, for those of you that maybe feel that way, don't close yourself off from experiencing more or exploring new things or new pathways. And for those of you that do feel this way, maybe where things are unclear, like you have all these interests and you have all these ideas, but they're not solidified yet. It's okay. It will come. Your time will come. Something that I've been reminding myself over and over and over again is that productivity and my success, the money in my bank account, does not define or determine my worth and my value in this world. Something that I've been also going deep into over the holidays with my family is numerology. It's something that I felt really drawn to when I was younger. I mean, I have this 1111 tattoo on my wrist that I got when I was like 18 or 19. So I always felt connected to numbers, but I really dove deep into it in the holidays and looked up my life path number, asked chat to be a wizard numerologist and to give me a reading. And my life path number is an 8, and it was so freaking accurate. I learned so much about myself. There was so much clarity that came from that. Things that I felt about myself that were true, but this numerology reading kind of just was a beautiful mirror and reflection for me that really helps me feel validated in a lot of ways around my strengths, around my shadows, around my energy and what I'm here to do. It all felt so in alignment. And for every single person that was in my family, it also was super deeply in alignment. So I highly recommend you go on ChatGPT and do your numerology reading. All you need is your birth date, your date of birth. But although this year was one of the most challenging and difficult years of my life, there was something about shifting from 2025 to 2026 that felt like this uplifting, for me at least. And you can let me know if you felt a similar way. But an intention I really held in mind towards the end of 2025 was this prayer to just let go of any hardness on myself that I feel or that I carry or that I hold, because it's just so exhausting and debilitating to be so constantly hard on yourself, putting so much pressure on yourself to figure things out, to be a certain way. It's exhausting. So I think this prayer was answered, because going into 2026, I just feel this newfound inspiration and freshness and light, and like I see a light at the end of the tunnel, which is something I really struggled to see and feel in 2025, which I'm so excited about. And I'm so excited to begin this new chapter of the whole soul for 2026 with each of you. So let's dive into it. Here are the 25 lessons I learned in 2025. Number 1 is that readiness is a decision. It's not a feeling. Number 2, your gut feeling is always right. Always trust your gut instincts. Number 3, Your challenges and blocks are your greatest opportunities for transformation. Number 4, everyone will have an opinion and something to say about you, about what you do, about who you are. But you cannot let that affect you. Because the most important thing is that you love who you are, you know who you are, you accept who you are. Number 5, never take advice from someone you wouldn't trade lives with. Y'all, this one is important. I'm sure you can count on more than 2 hands how many people have tried to give you advice or maybe projected their own fears onto you in the way that you're leading your life or the dreams that you have. And maybe that stung you. Maybe you even took those things to heart. But in 2025, I learned that none of that matters because those people aren't where I want to be in life anyways, so why would I listen to them? Number 6, rest is productive. You cannot push yourself through burnout. I want to go a little bit deeper into this one because burnout is something that I was struggling with for most of the year, feeling like I couldn't even show up to do the most basic of things that I had to do for work and just showing up, and how deeply that drained me. And in this, I learned that you cannot push yourself or figure your way out through burnout. Rest is so important. Because if you think of polarities, if you swing one direction too far, there's gonna have to be a rebalancing, right? So in life in general, we should be walking this fine line of balance. And when you get into burnout, you're obviously on one polarity too far because you're overworking yourself and you don't value rest as much as you value productivity or doingness. So lesson number 6 is that rest is just as productive as productivity, and you can't push or force yourself out of burnout. Number 7, doubt takes you out of action, and action takes you out of doubt. So going a little bit deeper into this, for me, something that I've struggled a lot with in 2025 was self-doubt, to a point where, I would start questioning my worth, my value to the world, and getting caught in that cycle of thoughts. It would take me out of action because I'm so in my head. I'm like, imposter syndrome, all these fears, all these limiting beliefs. So I became stagnant. I became so stuck in my head. But when you start to take little steps of action, even when you are experiencing doubt or limiting beliefs, getting in the motion of doing things is actually what helps you get out of doubt, because you are proving to yourself with every action and every step of the way that you are capable, that your fears in your head about what you want to do are not something you should actually be afraid of. It's not life-threatening. So, although that one might sound a little cheesy and cliche and poetic, it's very true. Doubt takes you out of action, and action takes you out of doubt. Number 8, what matters most is that you believe in yourself, your dreams, and visions. You don't need validation or approval or opinions from anybody else outside of yourself about what you want, about your dreams, about your visions. Something I learned this year too that has to do with this lesson is that a lot of times it's better to keep your dreams and your visions really close to your heart and sacred to you, because when you share with people that aren't meant to hear it, it's like their projection can almost like stain your vision, and you can feel that. So your visions are sacred, and not everybody deserves to hear them or be a part of them, and that's okay. Number 9, comparison is a thief of joy. This one is so simple, and it's so big, it's so important. And especially being on social media, if you're on social media, it's such an easy trap to fall into. But as soon as you catch yourself doing it, it's so important to get yourself out of it, because you have the power and the free will to do that. That's something that I'm continuously learning and practicing every single day. Number 10, not everyone will be able to meet you as deeply as you've met yourself. And that's okay. The amount of time and energy and stress that I've experienced because people couldn't meet me as deeply as I've met myself kind of makes me laugh a little bit, because I used to hold so much weight about that. But not everyone will be able to meet you there, and they're not meant to, and that's okay. And the people that are able to meet you there, how special and sacred and beautiful is that? That is something to celebrate. And because everybody can't meet you deeply, that is also a gift, because it's a filter that allows you to know who is for you, who is in alignment with you, and who is not. 11, embodiment is the ultimate reflection of how deeply you live and apply what you learn and believe. So your embodiment, how you embody your energy, the way you show up, is a reflection of how you live your life and your beliefs. Number 12, it's usually the people in your life that have been closest to you that won't be outwardly supportive. A lot of times this comes from jealousy. And I guess it depends on the context with this, but in a lot of cases, it's really true. Number 13, the more you grow, the lonelier it becomes at first. If you've experienced a spiritual awakening, or you started going on your healing journey, or you started taking an alternative path, you will lose people along the way. And it will feel very lonely at first. But that means you are on the right direction, and it's a part of the process to go through a shedding of what is no longer in alignment, because it creates space for what's actually in alignment to come your way. 14, discipline is self-devotion, not punishment. This is a big one. I know a lot of people in the spiritual community get triggered by the word discipline. So let me just break down that discipline is self-devotion. It's not punishment. It's a beautiful thing to do for yourself and your growth. 15, the body always knows before the mind does. And this goes back to the second lesson, I believe, of how your gut intuition, your gut feeling is always right. Number 16, becoming more authentically you will cost you people, and it will be worth it. 17, consistency will always outperform intensity. This one is really powerful, especially if you're a creator, if you are building a business. It doesn't matter if you have these creative outbursts and you want to post a million things at a time, and then you don't follow through the next few weeks. Showing up consistently is the most powerful thing to do. This is something that I'm integrating into my own life, because that is how I feel sometimes. I have these bursts of inspiration. I want to share so much, and then I can retreat and just go inwards and feel like I have nothing to share for a long time. Consistency will always outperform intensity. 18, Your nervous system sets the ceiling for how much you can receive. It's really true that the more safety we can create in our body to feel, to heal, to create space, the more capacity we then have to hold abundance and anything that comes up in life. 19. You need to experience misalignment to learn what alignment means to you. 20. Boundaries reveal who respects you and who benefited from a lack of them. 21. Choose to surround yourself with people your nervous system feels safe with. You know, those friendships or those people in your life where you feel like you can just fully exhale, just be in silence and it's not awkward, or, just not be judged for who you are. Those are the kinds of people you want to surround yourself with. 22. Exposure therapy will get you farther than the fear of being seen ever will. So if you're afraid of being seen, no matter what area of life, it's important to take yourself through some exposure therapy, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations where you are being exposed. Because when you do that by little, you start getting more and more comfortable with it. 23. Your energy teaches people how to treat you. This one is so important, y'all. Because the way you hold yourself literally guides people how to receive you. So, in a way, you're not in control of how people perceive you, but the way you show up and your energy teaches people how to treat you. 24. Self-trust is built through follow-through. Who would have thought? It's not just by saying affirmations or like meditating and doing the spiritual work, but true self-trust is built through taking micro actions and committing to them. And last but not least, 25. Expansion can feel like grief before it feels like freedom. And I just want to say that in my own personal life, it most times does. Because grief comes with letting go. Letting go of the life we've been living, letting go of someone, a relationship, a friendship, a habit, a way of being. It's uncomfortable to lose that, even if it's not good for us, because we've been comfortable with it. But to expand is to experience loss. And to experience loss is to grieve. And once we allow ourselves to grieve, we allow ourselves to feel a sense of freedom, to move on and to expand. So it's actually a beautiful thing. I hope that you enjoyed the 25 lessons I learned in 25. I'm really curious to know which ones landed for you, which ones you resonated with. And I want to wish you the most blessed 2026, to have the most healthy, abundant, opportunistic year you've ever had yet. Before we end, I also do want to say that in numerology, 2025 was a 9-year. So through the years, we operate in 9-year cycles. And now we are going into a 1-year, which is a powerful time to begin new projects, have new beginnings. Also aligned with this, we were in the year of the snake last year. So the 9, we were shedding a lot. And this actually goes until February 17th, the year of the snake. And the 1 year, 2026, we are going to the year of the horse. So this is like boom, follow through, momentum, building. So if this resonates with you, that's cool. I totally recommend you do some more research on your own on ChatGPT around what all this means, how this relates to you and your unique life path number. And I also do want to say that one of my best friends and I, Ray, are hosting our first retreat ever It's my first retreat ever. It's my first live experience that we're hosting in Northern California, August 18th to 23rd, 2026. If you are interested in learning more, you can go to my Instagram, claudia.isabella. I will link it below. I would love for you to be there if you are in the vibe for being in soft sisterhood, to authentically connect, to be in your feminine, to be in your creativity, and to just have a beautiful, soft, silly, playful time together. I love you. Happy 2026, and I will see you so soon.